Question 20. Alma bought a laptop computer at a store that gave a 20% discount off its original price. If the total amount she paid to the cashier was $P, including an 8% sales tax on the discounted price. That means she paid tax of 8% from the discounted price, not the original price. Which of the following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P? Let's get out our facts. We have Alma bought a laptop at a store that gave 20% discounts off the original price. The original price, let's say it's X. If she gets 20% off the original price, she will be paying 80% of the price. 20% off means you'll be paying 80% of the actual, because the actual price is always taken as 100%. So if you are getting a 20% discount, that is a 20% off, you'll be paying 80% of the original price. So the price she's paying is 80% of the original price. That's 80% of X in this case. The total amount she paid to the cashier was P, which includes an 8% sales tax on the discounted price. That means she paid 8% tax on the discounted price. What this means is this represents the cost. As regards the tax, she paid 8% of the discounted price. This is the discounted price. That she paid 8% of the 80% of X. The total amount she paid includes the discounted price and the 8% tax on the discounted price. And we're asked to find the original price. And the question says the total amount she paid to the cashier was P. So the total amount or the total cost, which is P, is discounted price, which is 80% of X, plus you add the tax to it, 8% of the 80% of X. Going back to the main question, it says which of these following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P? The original price of the computer is X. So it's telling us to make X subject of formula using P. That is, make X the subject of formula of this equation. We can break this down. P equals, 80% is 80 over 100 times X, plus 8% is 8 over 100 times, this is 80 over 100. 80 over 100 times X. You can see the options are in decimal. So we'll come back to this and break it down. P equals, with your calculator, 80 over 100 is 0.8 times X, plus 8 over 100 is 0.08 times 80 over 100 is 0.8, then you have your times X. We can have this as P equals 0.8x plus 0.08 times 0.8x. You can multiply these two, then leaving this still as it is. We're trying to make X the subject of this relation to know the value of the original price in terms of P. Normally, you would have multiplied 0.08 by 0.8, but because you want it to look like one of these options, you don't multiply, you factorize. This is like, say we have an algebraic expression where you have a plus 2ab and you're asked to factorize. If you have to factorize, since they both have a in common, you bring out a, you open your bracket. This is same thing as 1a. So you say a in 1a, a we cancel the a, you'll be left to 1, plus a in 2ab, the a we cancel the a, you'll be left to 2b, you have 2b, close your bracket. Same applies to this. They both have 0.8x. This has 0.8x. Then after the positive sign, you still have 0.8x here. So we have P equals 0.8x. We factorize, which is common in both terms. Open bracket. If you divide 0.8x by 0.8x, you'll be left with 1. The same thing as saying a in 1a is 1. So you say 0.8x divided by 0.8x, you get 1 plus 0.8x in 0.08 times 0.8x. 0.8x will cancel with 0.8x, you'll be left with 0.08. So you have 0.08 left, close bracket. If you multiply this 0.8x by these two values, you will get this initial line where you have 0.8x plus 0.08 times 0.8x. On the next line, we can add what is in the bracket. We have p equals 0.8x in bracket 1 plus 0.08 will give you 1.08, close bracket. They are all multiplying themselves, so you can write this as p equals 0.8 times 1.08. You can put it in bracket or leave it without the bracket. Then you have times x. You still have this x here multiplying 0.8. You can leave it like this. You're trying to make x, which is the original price, the subject of the equation. So we divide both sides by 0.8 times 1.08 to get x to stand alone. So on the next line, we can say we have our p over 0.8 times 1.08, and this over 0.8 times 1.08. This cancels this. You have x equals p over 0.8 times 1.08. We're trying to make this look like one of the options. So x is p over 0.8 times 1.08. Let's go to our options. From our options, our answer is D. Although they are put in brackets, it's still the same thing as p over 0.8 times 1.08.